Good evening, I'm Laura Connolly, and today I spoke to Lisa Sherlock about how it feels to be someone who is at risk to the virus during the COVID-19 pandemic.
Well, in one word, it's frightening. Although on the outside look, I'm sure reasonably healthy and fit, and I am fit. I take a lot of exercise every day. Between 5 and 10 kilometers. I walk every single day. I eat healthily. However, I do have underlying health conditions. I have an autoimmune disease. Not totally clear how they are impacted by coronavirus just yet. I also have high blood pressure, which is definitely known to be one of the categories where people feel you're more at risk. And I suppose the biggest one is I have no spleen. A spleen is an organ that the body uses to produce antibodies to fight infection. Mine was taken out over, gosh, I'm not even sure now, maybe nearly 40 years ago, a long time ago. But the good news is obviously you can live without one, and some other organs tend to take over some of the function of the spleen. Regardless of that, you are still very much at risk of infection, not just coronavirus. Any kind of, even a minor infection can overwhelm somebody who doesn't have a spleen, and it can lead to death. It's as simple as that. Pneumonia happens to be one of the big risks, and why people without a spleen have to, for example, get a vaccine called pneumovax every 5 years. Because they just may not be able to fight off pneumonia, whereas a person with a working spleen could. So that's one example. And as everyone knows, pneumonia is very definitely one of the killer side effects of coronavirus. So yes, I'm very much in the vulnerable category. I have been staying in. I'm following all the instructions, washing hands, etc. However, I live with my daughter, and she is an essential worker. She works in a supermarket part-time, so she has to go to work, and while she is as best as she can observing all the right protocols and keeping her distance from people, she is nevertheless mixing with people, and then comes home to stay in the same house as me. So there's clearly a risk there. And yeah, it's very, very scary times at the moment, and I think we're all just doing our best and hoping to get through it as best we can.
Laura Connolly, Dublin City, good evening.